Hey everyone, I'm Courtney.
Hi, I'm Kamla.
Today, it's kind of funny how we ended up talking. It was one of those mornings where I think I was just I was in the Word and I was kind of feeling heaviness and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And I just started praying and all of a sudden this rush of thoughts, maybe that I wasn't doing enough or that I wasn't really worthy or that I was that I didn't matter. These weird thoughts. I was telling Kamala, it was just crazy. It's not because of any reason. I mean, I've had a wonderful weekend with my family, great friend time lately, but this little voice was trying to tell me, you just don't matter. You just aren't. Everyone else is doing this and here you are. And I just wanted to share this morning that no matter who you are, where you are, what you are, we all can have insecure thoughts come into our lives and try to take our identity,
And your joy. I feel like when I am the most happiest, most content, and everything's going so great, it's like the enemy creeps in and it's like, no, they don't really like you. Or you feel like, oh no, did I say the wrong thing? And you start to feel you don't trust yourself anymore. You start to feel like you have to second guess everything that comes out of your mouth.
Before you know it, you feel choked.
Yeah.
Literally, like the other day at your house, it was so silly because we were having an awesome play date at Kamla's, doing a workout. I mean, but there was like a little playpen and her little one was in it and my bigger boy and he wanted to get out. And I was just like, oh, he'll go do something else. And it was, nothing keep going. But for some reason, like Kamla was like, oh no, she's mad at me.
Yeah.
And she asked me a few times, I was like, no. But she genuinely thought I was mad. And it was funny because it seems silly, right? Like,
right.
Kamla, you're so funny. And, but she really needed that like affirmation that I wasn't, because for whatever reason, just a simple little conversation could bring a wedge. And then all of a sudden, guess what? Say I didn't text her later, or say we were doing something else, or, that could validate it.
Right.
Because all fears can get validated by just simple basic things unless we address it. Kamla, you're awesome about that. Like, you always go to it. You're like, hey, did I do this? Are you upset? I mean, and you have to. Because if you don't put it out there and say, this is how I feel, then you're just going to play around with it in your head.
And then you start treating other people differently. And then you start to isolate. Like, the devil he wants you to be isolated. He doesn't want you to fellowship with other Christians at all. And as moms, it's so easy to get isolated in your home and not do anything, not see anyone.
I mean, you're doing everything.
Right? But like,
it just
not do anything out, like play dates and things. You feel isolated because you start to, the devil, like, he really plays with your mind and makes you feel like they don't really like you, or, like you just start to feel down, and it's easy for you to get in that rut,
Oh, man.
Like when we were together that day, we were working out, but like you were so quiet, and she's never quiet.
I know.
Ever.
Courtney said the same thing.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh my word, like, is she tired of us? Like, is she tired of me? Like, maybe she just doesn't feel like she wants to be our friend. I don't know, like, why is she so quiet? And she said to me, like, randomly, like, I feel like I need to listen more because I talk so much. I want to listen more. That way I can, you guys feel like you're heard. And I think to myself, like, whoa, I took it and I ran with it to the left, and really it was not that big of a deal.
Isn't that funny though?
That's so funny how your mind will play tricks and you start to doubt your relationships with other people because of your insecurities, because communication is key. And like communication with God, like that's why it's so important to be in your Bible and like be in the Word every day. Because God, it's like a refill. Every morning, a refill. Because Satan really tries to use your insecurities against you.
And I told you, like, the past few days, I read, but it's been like not enough. And I've been feeling that like weakness and hunger for it. Like I'll preach on this all the time. Like, when I'm not, I have to be like consumed in the Word, or I'm just a mess. That's what really, when I read the Word and then I'm convicted by it, it's like God always shows my mind and my heart what I need to be, processing and thinking about and living in. And it's funny because for me, I think this will always be my personal thing, is music. I am musical. I love writing songs. I love singing songs. I love creating music. Here's the problem: I don't play guitar, don't play piano, don't have a bed, so there's so much of me sometimes that I don't know how to explain it, except for like, I feel like I'm going to explode all the time. So much in me that I want to come out that I feel like can't. and you know, I'll try to sing, but then I've got a diaper to change, or I've got a kid screaming at me, or I have to learn how to, you know, structurally punish them, and so I have to fully focus on maintaining composure, or I've got mouths to feed, or I've got to go pick someone up or do something. So it's like, you know, there's so many things, and it's like sometimes I'm just like, I just want to, you know, and I get to sing worship at church. I mean, but it's not, you know, for me, it's like I want to just do so much more, and I have to just trust God with that, and I have to surrender and say, look, ultimately, God, everything I do has to glorify you, you know, and I have to like think about myself less. And that's tricky, because even if that's a godly talent, even if that's even if it's worship and praise, even if it's Jesus, but ultimately, like, maybe I'm having to learn to die to self even in that.
Maybe it's like God's way of saying, like, working on your ministry that are your children. You know, maybe that's God's way of saying, okay, Courtney, like, I know you want to do these things, but you're discipling to these little ones, and I need you to focus on that, you know? And maybe you're like, no, but I really need to create. But God's like, no, but they really need you right now.
Because I really tried to play guitar, and it just wouldn't work, Jesus. And like even Ellie coming in, even making videos, like I'm sure 90% of these has little chickens running around. But, I mean, it's difficult because there's so much sometimes that I want to do. Like I said, but I have to just surrender all that. And sometimes I feel like there's so much in me, but then I'm stuck. Not stuck. Stuck isn't wrong. I felt stuck before, but I think God's showing me, like, but I am in this season where I'm very much confined to, you know, doing one of I think is the most important jobs, raising kids, making sure my family, and giving and sewing and all of that. But ultimately, the whole point of this is no matter where you are, maybe you are out there in the work field, maybe you are out there taking over the world. It doesn't matter really where you are. It's what's going on in here. And taking these thoughts captive, learning to, first of all, acknowledge when they come. Don't just disregard it. Like when those silly thoughts come for me, a lot of times I had a hard time even acknowledging they were there, because I was like, that is so ridiculous. Like, I'm not even going to pretend like I was thinking those silly thoughts.
Right.
Even telling Kamala some of my thoughts, I'm almost like, oh, I feel so ridiculous telling her what I was thinking. But it's what was going through my head.
Right.
And so acknowledging, talking about it, talking through it, sharing it. If it's about someone else, asking like, hey, do you think this of me? Or, you know, being able to have that, you know, transparency.
And it's good to surround yourself with other people who are always going to, first off, not lie to you and just tell you what you want to hear, but also like encourage you in a positive way and not in a negative way. You know, like it's great to have other Christian friends that are moms and just to help you and say, I feel that too sometimes, you know, that way you can relate and you don't feel crazy, you know, and they can give you that positive encouragement. You guys do that to me all the time, where I'm like, am I the only, like, what's happening here?
Right.
And instead of being like, yeah, that's horrible. Yeah. You're like, no, this is what you are. Like, you're the daughter of a king, Kamala. Hello, you're the daughter of a king. Like, understand. And it's also great when I feel the anxiety, because I have a lot of anxiety. When I feel anxiety or feel those doubts, those thoughts, a great way to take them captive is immediately speaking to God. Yeah. Say, like, I just say it. Like, God, right now, I'm feeling like this. And you know what? No, the devil's really trying to get me and I'm not going to do this. And just go into straight prayer. You might look crazy. Yeah. In your car driving.
Yeah, that's totally okay.
Talking to God, but it's okay.
Yeah. You'd rather look crazy and be free, right? Yeah. Than try to look all normal and be crazy up here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I think that's, if we could give any encouragement today, the what we want to leave you with is just, there is freedom and liberty in just being open and sharing even what feels silly, what feels heavy. That's kind of the big core of our friendships and our groups, is that transparency. Like even the nitty gritty, the deep stuff, the stuff that you know have felt shame, the stuff that you feel silly about, like talk about it, you know. And obviously most of the time once you say it out loud, you're like, you know, like that is so ridiculous. But it's amazing because when you keep it up here, it literally can put chains on you. And then you speak it out and you're like, oh, you know, so we just want you to, you know, let things go, speak it out, take captive those thoughts. And like Kamala said, like take it to God, take it to the Word, because it will always lead you in truth and set you free. And we're called to be free, because you can't set someone free if you're not free, right? Makes no sense.
Yeah.
And so we want to constantly be making sure if there's anything in us, any weirdness going on, that we just go, there it is. It's not mine anymore.
Exactly.
So that we don't think one of us is mad.
Right.
We don't think one of us doesn't like each other.
Yeah.
That we're not feeling left out. Kayla's like in Mississippi, and and then we went to St. Augustine, so you never know. Like, could Kamala feel like left out? I was in Tennessee and they were having a play out. Could I? It's like these weird things.
I was like, they went to St. Augustine. Oh, but then I was like, I'm having such a good time with my best friend, but at the same time, I also felt like, did they forget about me? Am I X'd out of the group now?
Isn't that funny?
Because I went on vacation, but really, it's like, no. Like, what's wrong with my brain? Like, I had to like really think about it and then pray
I knew
to God
I shouldn't
about
have
it.
left town.
And then I text them at like 12 o'clock at night, their time, and they're like not responding, and I'm like, okay, they're probably sleeping. What's wrong with
No,
me?
you probably thought, see, I knew they didn't like me.
Yeah, like,
because that's the
I'm out of it. They left me alone. I'm kidding.
The truth is, you're conked out.
Exactly.
Anyways, we love you guys. We just pray for you that God would continue to show Himself to you, and that you would be free in every area of your life, and that you would just do what God calls you to do in braveness and boldness.
Right.
And
be a light to your friends.
Yeah.
Reach out. Love on your girls, man, because we're all we got. We got each other. That's it.
Yeah. Team mom.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.